happening, y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another series review. Today we're taking a look at the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the reason that I'm doing this series is because I promised it a while back, and I just never got around to it, but also because I got a Paramount Plus subscription to watch Sonic and Halo Season 2, so I'm making the most of the subscription and rewatching all of the Turtles stuff, and especially the 2012 one, as it is my favorite. But let's get into the overarching stories of Season 2, and all 26 episodes, titles will appear on screen. They all run for about 20 minutes each, so it does take a good while to watch them all. It is a pretty hefty series, and I'm going to be honest, I do love it, and it is one of my favorites, and one that I remember very vividly. So, Season 2 does continue the story of Shredder and the Krang, but it one-ups it with Shredder getting a hold of the mutagen, Krang actually dropping mutagen, and the Turtles causing more mutants to arise and more villains to fight when they try and infiltrate a Krang ship, and then it drops mutagen all over the place, causing April's dad to become a mutant, causing a load of other creatures to become a mutant, and that's basically how Shredder gets a hold of the mutagen, and these guys have to run around the city trying to gather it all up again, and that's basically the gist of the series, them trying to fix their mistake and collect all the mutagen they left around the city, and in doing this, they have to fight a load of monsters and create an anti-mutagen to make things go back to normal and stop being a mutant. So that's basically Donnie's stress for the entire thing, but what adds to his stress is April now hates the Turtles, she's spending a lot more time at school, and she befriends this dude called Casey, who then joins the Turtle team with his hockey stick fighting abilities. He gets very close with Raph, and he becomes Donatello's love rival for April, because obviously in every version of the Turtles, one of the Turtles has to fall in love with April. In the 2014 movies, it was Mikey who fell in love with April. In the newest movie, it is Leo. In Mutant Mayhem, it is Leo. And then in the 2012 series, it is Donnie. So the only one that we're waiting for is really Raph to fall in love with April, and then we've got the full boys doing it. But continuing on, they do have an invasion. They fail to stop the invasion, which is the big double episode ending of this series, of the Krang making their way to Earth and basically fully infiltrating Earth. And they also fail in stopping Shredder, which teams up with the Krang in this one and basically causes a load of chaos, and them teaming up ends up killing Splinter, which is a massive issue and then leads into the next one directly. So in this one, Splinter does die in the invasion, Mikey gets sent to Dimension X, and he's been abandoned there for a while, and he gets rescued in the invasion, and that's pretty much where the series ends off. Again, not too much really goes on here. They just double down and focus on Shredder and the Krang as the overarching villains, but have some other storylines going through as well. With this series, there is no one-off episodes. Each episode ties into the story. There is no filler. There is no random episode side quests. Each one is related to the story in one way or another, which is really interesting, and I do really like that. It is a shocker that they kill Splinter off so early. They also introduce Karai, and the love triangle with Leo in this one, so everyone's falling in love with humans, and we also do find out that Karai is Splinter's daughter, so it's technically Leo's sister, and Leo continues to try going out with her, which is even weirder. So we have two turtles who love two humans, and I'm going to be honest, that's very weird, but I'm going to continue on anyway. Animation quality doesn't dip, it is still the same, it is very plastic-like, and obviously we have a couple of one-off episodes where the turtles get new outfits, so they can sell more toys, and there's a lot more bad guys and monsters introduced with mutants and stuff like that to also sell more toys. That's mainly what this series does with their designs. They're very plastic-like, very flat, there isn't much texture to the characters, and the backgrounds are quite boring. There is no big background details or stuff to sort of pick up on in the background. It is literally just a couple of colors and a base background which gets used a lot, So there isn't much to look at in the background. It is all very flat, but it is still a good series with the action. There's a lot of good fights, and again, I'm going to pick up on it again like I did in the season 1 review. This one literally just takes season 1 and amps it up a little bit, taking the threat, taking the issues, and timing it by 2 to make it a little bit more interesting before we sort of divert off to the more crazy stuff in season 3, 4, and 5. We do have the death of Splinter, which no one really expected, and did cause a massive shake and a massive uh, fear for everyone as well. And we see how it impacts the characters in the next season. There isn't much to sort of talk about in this one. He dies in the last 2 episodes, so there isn't much to sort of reflect on or anything like that. But Krang do take over the entirety of New York, and that's pretty much it. There isn't really much to talk about here. The turtle designs and the mystery to the Krang develops, and the mystery to the Krang is being slowly unraveled. And I do like that. I like how we take time to uncover the mystery and go through all the Krang and what they have to offer for the villains, and not just stick with Shredder like we do with most of the Turtle stuff. And they do make Krang a wide variety of characters. There is multiple different Krang, and it's not just one like we see in the 1990s one or the 2016 Turtles movie. There is multiple Krang here and multiple different types of Krang, and we see them all develop and sort of become villains as a whole and take over the city as a whole in this series as well, which is also very interesting. The voice acting doesn't dip. The voice acting pretty much stays the same and the same standard quality that we have from most cartoon shows or kids shows, with some lesser known voice actors, with Greg Snipes, who also voices Kevin 11, and Beast Boy voicing Michelangelo, one of my favorite voice actors. But we also have the last season for the original voice actor of Leo. He only does the first 2 and then changes in season 3. I just think he couldn't continue it and had better opportunities coming up for him. Just as his character was starting to get a little bit more interesting as well, he had to dip. But that's really it. The issue of dropping all the mutagen was really cool and interesting, but it sort of got boring after a while. They kept bringing up new bad guys and new villains, and they didn't find them all at the same time. They just found them all as and when they wanted to break from the main storyline to try and chunk out the series a little bit. The Turtles comedy lands. I find myself giggling, laughing, finding this funny. I thought the action was quite serious as well, so they do know how to sort of balance it and have their goofy teen moments, but also have their serious moments where, like, Splinter dies. I think they did that one really well, and the one where Shredder was getting all powerful and the fights and the Turtles were losing, they handled that really well, and they did it really maturely. Whereas a couple of other ones would have had it be really goofy, really silly, and have the Turtles like shrugging it off and laughing it off. But seeing the Turtles actually look defeated and sort of get really mopey and sort of calm down a little bit was really interesting. It is very similar to like Ninjago in this one, where the Turtles were getting quite lazy, getting quite laid back, and being less of ninja because they felt like they could do it all, and they've been beating so many bad guys that when it comes to the Shredder, they feel like they can take him, but they haven't trained enough and they get their asses handed to them, and that's when Splinter dies. So it is kind of their fault, and I like how they sort of play on that and use that to their advantage for the most of season 2. But I do like how it is the early stages of Spider-Verse art style as well, with the 2D mixing with 3D, with the comic panels and the fading out to a comic panel to end the episode. That's always really cool. And I love the intro for this first 2 seasons. I can sing it off by heart. It is so iconic, and I see it on TikTok all the time. We also have the character struggles returning as well, with them having to evolve even more. We don't forget about the lessons that they learn in season 1, but we sort of adapt on them and continue them a little bit. Not that they have forgotten them, but it is still struggles that are solely specific to their character, like Raph struggling with everyone else and being, like, being held back by his brothers. And we also see Leo struggling to be a leader here and actually keep control of his brothers. And then we have Mikey, who's struggling by, he wouldn't struggle in the same way, but he causes everyone else to struggle by going off and be like goofy and silly and not really focusing on anything or taking anything seriously, which then impacts the others on missions, which is entirely his character, but he gets angry about that and he gets like salty about it and he goes and tries to prove himself worthy by going out and fighting Dog Pound on his own. But that's pretty much the series as a whole. I will take a look at the other two series as well, like series 3 and 4. I'm currently watching series 5, so you'll have to wait for that one for a little bit. But that's pretty much all I have to say on these two series as a whole. So other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. See you all next one. Have a nice day, and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe. If you do want to help support me as a content creator, please do press the subscribe button and press the link in the description. And you can have a little bit more Tyler Price in your life, and you can see everything else that I have to offer as a content creator, from my TikTok to my Instagram to my Twitter to my Twitch to everything else like that. It's all in the link in the description. But other than that, I'm actually done now. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.